Hey, welcome to my new series on speed training. If you're looking for more club head speed and distance, then by all means stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve from HitItLonger.com. In this series, I will be on a mission to hit the ball 350 yards in the fairway off the tee this year. For that, I'm going to need a minimum of 120 miles an hour of club head speed and 180 miles an hour of ball speed. Nowhere close to that right now, but that's what the speed training is for. If you follow some of the tips and tricks that I present to you that I'm going to use to get myself to these speeds and distances, I think you're going to pick up a lot of distance too. All right, let's get started. This is session 1. Of course, the beginning of the season, I'm feeling old, slow, fat, stiff. So probably if you're sitting there watching this, maybe some of you at home are feeling the same way. We're going to get started today really slowly. Follow along. You don't have to have all the tools I'm going to use. You could just use your own driver to start with, but I'm going to present to you some tools that may be helpful for you to use if you'd like to get more into the speed training thing. So here I've got an orange whip. I've got my rip radar here to measure the speed of the swings. In this first set, this is a loosen up set. Before we get to any kind of maximum speed, we're going to spend quite a bit of time stretching, getting loose, getting warm, and I've got the voice on. So what the goal of this would be to make about 10 to 12 swings in a row. Start at about 60 miles per hour or so, long and loose and slow, and try to work our way up about 10 to 12, even 15 consecutive swings until we're reaching maybe 100. So just going to go nice and slow and easy. All right. There's 66. Just a little faster each time. Up to 83. 87. 89. 90. And 91. So you can see how far off from my all-time records I am. Usually by the time I get done with this drill, you can see it, that many swings in a row tend to get you out of breath, but I've achieved a high score of about 108 or 9 with this orange whip. Now you can get this on my website, hititlonger.com. Head over there. Left a link down below. Great tool to work on tempo and get your swing long. You see I'm getting nice long swings there. So we're going to use that as our warm-up exercise. All right, I'm going to grab another tool here. Now what I'm using here is an old driver I got from eBay, but this is a super light driver. It's the Cleveland XL 270. So it's 270 total gram weight, instead of about 310 as your normal driver. So this is significantly underweight. And what we're going to do is kind of do a little bit of the same idea here. We're going to go slower and work our way up. So I'm not going to do any of the first few swings in these sets at max speed. This is early on. We're trying for prevention of injury. Just getting loose. Don't want to be so sore the next couple days that I can't repeat this again. See how we do here. 95. 106. 107. 107 and one more. And there's 108. Okay, so extremely slow for me. Like I said, feeling extremely stiff. Been sitting around not swinging for months. You might be in the same boat, and it is what it is. All right, so I've rested for about 45 seconds. We're going to do another set of 5 here. This time I've got my ripstick The ripstick is a really cool tool because you've got weights in here, like kind of like bullets in a chamber, and you can simply twist it and lock it. And I can pull out these 30-gram little cylinders here. Right now I've got it fully loaded up, so it's going to be on 360 grams. One key of a really good speed training program is you're using implements where the weight is varied, anywhere between plus or minus 10% to plus or minus 15%. Starts to be stretching it a little bit, but this is about plus 15% of my normal driver, 360 grams. So it won't swing quite as fast, you would think. Heavier, we'd think would swing slower, but we're going to do another building set. So early, as you do these, do sets of 5 or 6. Normally you'd be going all out, but that's for the Kyle Berkshires of the world who are young and flexible and really in shape. Us old couch potatoes, we're going to build it. So I'm going to do something like a 70%, 80%, 90%, to closer to 100%. I may not even get to 100% today, because again, it's about getting loose, establishing a benchmark, not being sore the next day, and not risking injury, keeping the risk of injury to a minimum. So here we go. I'm just going to swing about 5 times here, about 70%. 92. 98. There's 103, and we'll do one more. Try to go 104. Felt harder, but it was slower. So you can definitely start feeling the fatigue after 5 or 6 of these. Going to give it about 30 to 60 seconds of rest in between sets. Now, what I'll do is I will do a set from 3 weights, 2, 1, 0. It's a great way to do it. Got 4 different settings. You actually have a back weight you can put on here too. You can really make it weigh all kinds of different weights. So potentially this could be the only tool you use in speed training. It's a ripstick. I'll leave a link to it below. This is the best, I think, option for all the different weight options it gives you. The realistic length and the price. I haven't found anything that I like better than this for all those features. So might want to think about picking one of these up. Now I'm going to do a set with my driver, my play driver. This is somewhere in the neighborhood of 310 grams. So pretty light shaft. This is about a 63 gram shaft. The head will be about 200 and the grip is about 50 to 55, depending on if you have a cord grip or not. So somewhere in the 310, 315 gram range. And we'll give it a shot here. That's a 70%. 105. 107 and 107 again. Okay, so it's kind of the baseline we're establishing here. I could push faster, but I'm going to wait for a couple of sessions before I really start to push, because again, feeling tight, feeling stiff. The risk of injury in doing speed training is definitely there. And as we get older, these more violent, aggressive movements, we just don't want, healing takes longer. All right, next I'm going to come back. Again, I'm going to confuse the body. I'm going to take one of the bullets out here, so you just have to give it a little twist. Slides out. So now I've upped this. 315 in my club. This is going to be 330. So all kinds of weights here. I'm going to go from 270 up to 360 grams here. So you're going to think that I should be able to go a little bit faster, a little bit slower than I did 107 with my club. This is a little heavier, so you'd think that I would top out, oh, just a little bit slower. Let's see how it goes here. .102. Okay. 110. 6. All right, so got to 110. So what I'll do here now is, while I'm resting, we'll take one more bullet out, put it in my pocket. It's 30 grams. Now we're going to be underweight slightly. My driver is 310, 315. We're now down to 300 grams with this thing. So again, we're mixing it up. I don't think I've done a single set here that's been the same weight. So keep your body guessing, keep it adapting. Going to be 300 grams here. Well, I like this ripstick. I like to keep my own weighted driver and this lightweight driver. I like to keep them both. I like to still swing with the club head out at the end. I still think there's the specificity in that weight and balance and the flexiness of the shaft. I think it's a little more specific, a little closer to hitting a ball. Of course, we're not going to hit any balls in this session. Obviously can't. But you'd want to follow this up on the driving range by hitting balls with these fast swings too. And that's what long drivers typically do. They hit a lot of very heavy load, 100, 150, 200 drives where they're just swinging all out as hard as they can. And that's, if you're young, that's wonderful. You've got stamina, you can do that. We've got less time, less energy, higher risk of injury. So got to more limit the fatigue, more what injuries can happen more so when you start to get fatigued and parts of the chain start to not be able to fire in sequence. So here comes a set. Should be able to get this a little bit faster than the 330. This will be 300 now. So we're starting off at 110 right off the gate. 112. 112. 111. See if you can beat 112. 114. Now I used a little trick there, you might have noticed. The trick I used there was to increase the tempo. Talked about this on other videos. Of course, I'm breathing here. You want a tempo, you want a 3-to-1 tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but you also want it to be brisk. Most golfers do not swing briskly enough, taking the club back to encourage this type of club head speed. So up to 114 on the 300 gram implement. What we're going to do next, slip this bullet, last bullet out. And yes, you have to rest. The real spirit of this, to make it the most optimal training, is to go at it 5 or 6 repetitions per set, but you'd want to go pretty much 100%, as hard as you can. You're just gritting your teeth and jumping up and down and growling at it. And you're just trying to register the highest number. So form goes completely out the window here. Form is just, doesn't really matter that much. This is just all for raw speed. 270, you would think that this being a lighter implement, I should be able to get it. So what I got the last set up to 114. That's getting a little more respectable, but I could probably swing this light one, 140 plus at my high end, and you're going to see that Boy, if I could get to 120 with this, think I'll be doing okay. So again, we're going to do the 70, 80, 90, 100, 100 version of 5. So you're going to see me build. This keeps the maxed out swings a little bit more to a limit. Enables me, if I feel any kind of twinge in my back or shoulder or wrist, anything, I can shut it down before I get to maximum and hopefully prevent an injury from happening. So this will be 70 now. Okay, starting at 110. 119. 120 would be okay. Okay, 17. 117, one more. All right, didn't quite get there. 119, we're hovering around that. It's good though that I was consistent in that range. It's the one thing you're going to see when you're training is you might pop for a high number once during the set, but you're unable to repeat it. What I have found, the sign that you're about to jump higher is when you start to coalesce around your top speed. So there I had two 118s, a 117, a 119. That tells me that very soon with this implement, I'm going to really bust through for a big number, like I'll pop for 123 or 124. You'll jump up, and then you'll see that it's almost like a fluke. And then slowly your speed will start to coalesce behind that new number, and then you'll make another jump. All right, we're going to finish this session up. One more set with the play driver. Let's see if we can get this. I think we got 107 the first set. So let's see if we can't do something like a 110. See if I can put this over here a little bit. Let's see if this works or not. Gives me a little more room on the sidewalk without fear of hitting it. All right, here we go. Let's see if this will work. $101. Okay, we got it to 110 on the second one. $113. One more. Try to equal that. All right, 112. All right, that's a good start. Finally, on the last set, I peaked out at 113 with my playing driver. Very slow. I feel a little discouraged that that's all I can get, but it is what it is. It's like when you go in the weight room and you can only lift, looking at the next guy in the mirror and he's got the big weights and you've got the smaller weights. It is what it is. It's the truth. There's no lying. But physiologically, my body is now going to start making adaptations. It's starting to sync up and coordinate the central nervous system with the motion I'm trying to make. And hopefully the next session, I'll be looser. I'll be able to be a bit more aggressive, and I'll just simply be faster too. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you need help getting any of these implements, just leave me a comment down below. If you have any other comments or ideas. How do you speed train? Do you do any speed training? Have you ever considered any speed training? Well, I'd love to hear you down below in the comments. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. I did about 7 or 8 sets fast. It's not a very heavy session. A heavy session would be more like 16 to 20 sets of 5 or 6. That's more of a heavier session. So we're just doing kind of a half a session. Again, I don't want to wake up not being able to move the next couple days. That's not the point of it. We're going to break into this kind of slow. And remember, the goal is for a 120, more of a cruising speed of 120. These are all out. That's about 6 or 7 miles faster. So all out, I'm going to have to probably get to 125 on my hardest swings in order to maybe even faster, in order to get on the TrackMan and go cruising at 120, 180 ball speed, 350 total. What is the distance that you would like to hit it with your driver? Would you like to go 200? Maybe you're only hitting it 160 and you'd like to go 200. Maybe you've never hit it 250 and that's going to make a big difference. Well, this is just one of the tricks we can use, one of the approaches we can use. It's not for everybody, but getting out and swinging, even your own driver, doing the 70, 80, 90, 100 trick out in the backyard 3-4 times every couple days, just that alone can really help you. Just any minimum amount. If you're down at the bottom of the distance spectrum, really any amount of effort just to get out and get loose and swing some fast swings is going to help a lot. As you get near the top end, you need to start to use these more specific tools, push harder, train more often, and the gains start to be much fewer and further between. So, hey, thanks so much for sticking with me and watching this. I hope you'll stick around next week and watch session 2. We'll see what kind of progress I make, and hopefully I will meet my goal this year of that 350-yard drive straight down the middle of the fairway. I'm Steve. Thanks. As always, I will either see you in the next video or I will see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.